Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. My name is Amy and I will be with you for the show today, and what a wonderful way to start here at Mantis Founders Lodge in the Eastern Cape of South Africa with this beautiful ride that has come down for a bit of a splash at the Waterhole. And two Egyptian geese, we can't not mention them, also around here. Oh, he's going to sit down, isn't he? Oh, wow. That is fantastic. Rhinos make me very, very happy. And to see this one just enjoying the sludge here this afternoon is awesome. Remember, everyone, that this is a live and interactive show. So please do chat to me. Say hello. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, any snacks that you might have for the show today. And yes, any interesting questions or comments, please feel free to share them. You can do so on the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us in the YouTube chat stream, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. Now, it seems to me this rhino is pretty much doubled the size of its horn just by digging in the mud. And it's nice to see one with quite a lengthy horn on it at the moment in comparison to some of the ones that have had their horns trimmed. But I'm not sure if it's a male or female. I'm thinking maybe a male just because it's on its own here. Difficult to judge the size when it's on its own completely. But nevertheless, it is a large pachyderm, and it has plenty of mud on its horn. Maybe using that to dig up the mud a little bit. Perhaps also, I think sometimes they do it because it feels really nice if they have a bit of an itch or something like that around the face. But it's definitely got the best seat in the house at the moment. And just look at its nostrils. Do you see how it's exhaling and it's creating some bubbles? Rhinos have a particularly good sense of smell. Their eyesight, not so great, but hearing and smell is really, really good. And the size of those nostrils tell us that as well. But you can actually see the disruption on the surface of the water there. Penelope, lovely to hear from you. You say that you're not teaching today, so you can relax and enjoy all the water holes. It's wonderful to hear from you and have you with us for the show. Lady T, Sambonani, Tobela, good morning to you too. Lovely to have you with us. And rhinos are big fans of watering holes, really mud wallows more so than just watering holes. And you can see how this one has just come and sat down, and a lot of it has to do with cooling off and just needing that little bit of a relief. It looks like the sun is shining here in this part of the Eastern Cape today. Oh. Not sure what that was. Maybe there was a catfish underneath its belly that disturbed it. I think it wants to put its head down, but obviously if it puts its mouth under the water, it can't breathe. So it needs to constantly lift up its head, hoping to find a comfortable spot where it at least can breathe through one nostril while lying in the water. Colin, hello. You are joining us from northwest of England. Good to have you here. And Deb Davis from the US. What a treat to have a rhino. We don't always have rhinos on the show. It's definitely not a given. Oh, now we're having a bit of looked like a little bit of a bum scratch in the mud. Or maybe just trying to stand up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it does look like a male there, just checking between the back legs now. And it is a huge rhino, isn't it? And you can't, it's difficult to gauge the size just through a camera like this. I mean, we can tell it's big, but until you've been either on foot or, I mean, on foot more so than a vehicle, I would say. But even on a vehicle, you can still get that real sense of the enormity of its size. And they can, I mean, male rhinos can easily weigh close to 2 tons. So that white rhino specifically is the species we're talking about here, is a white rhino. They get a little bit bigger than black rhino, but very, very impressive. We've seen quite a few crashes here, probably a similar size. And I do apologize for the screen. But here we go. We've come up to Kenya at Oldonyo. And there's a beautiful elephant. Speaking of large animals, an elephant is the largest that we find on land. And I know this boy because I recognize that notch in his left tusk. And he's come to cool off here. Just look at how he's spraying himself with water. He's done a proper job. Just his face missing, really, in the front of his ears, which are a little bit more tricky, I suppose, to get wet.
Thank you for coming along on this little adventure.
90 meters away from me, folks.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
We understand that not everybody has got spare pennies to rub together at the end of the month. We're introducing an initiative called Gift an Explorer.
So that those with lots of pennies can gift a Wild Earth Explorer access to those with fewer.
We're aiming for 250 gifts, but the more the merrier.
You can nominate a recipient or keep it anonymous.
It's a great way to share the Wild Earth mission with other nature lovers around the world.
Wild Earth Travel would like to take you to Namibia and Botswana. Drift over the desert in a hot air balloon, then glide through the lush Okavango Delta in a dugout canoe. This extraordinary journey blends dramatic landscapes with outdoor adventures and unparalleled wildlife encounters. Discover Africa like never before. Book now with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
To the dry and wet season, being sort of now is the wet season, and we're going into the dry season from probably the rain subside by April, but that's not to mean, I've had rain in the Lowveld in August, as it's sort of meant to be super dry, but not rain like we've seen over the last little while. And actually in the Lowveld it's currently raining, or sort of this stormy weather, not huge rains, but it just goes to show, I think, over this last year that we've been sort of doing the show in and out every single day, and being able to also chat quite a bit about the rains and water and how depressing I suppose it can get when the rains aren't here, and how dry it gets. And we'll see that again as the year goes on. But then to see the rain come, and the importance of both dry and wet seasons. But what a beautiful scene here at Tau, and just to see this place transform is really amazing. There's elephants, there's a water buck there on the left. I think that's a spoonbill sitting there, the white bird on one leg, and some Egyptian geese around as well. So hello, you are English and you are currently watching the show on holiday in South Africa, and you're sad about having to go home tomorrow. It's always sad when a holiday comes to an end, but it's good to know that you'll miss South Africa, and hopefully you'll be able to plan your next trip soon. Oh, there's a little elephant there that keeps sort of plunging its face down. I don't know if it's just trying to mud wallow or trying to drink or just having some fun. Not sure if it's now trying to look for a teat. It's not going to find one there, little one. You'll have to go further forward. Mom's mammary glands are between her front legs.
We love all creatures in the African bush, from the biggest to the smallest, including the tiny little insects and arthropods, but some of them are not as charming as we'd like them to be. So that's why I trust peaceful sleep. And it lasts up to 8 hours too, so I can stay out longer, both at day and night, and not feel like I'm somebody's snack.
Every guide in Africa has been on an endless quest for the ultimate bush wear. until now. Rugged Wear has a huge range of amazing bush gear for every wild situation. In the midday heat, those chilly winter mornings, in the storms of summer. Rugged Wear has the bush kit for every wild occasion. Locally made in South Africa, crafted with precision, stitched with quality.
Join the Wild Earth Explorers program and connect with a community passionate about wildlife. Support our mission to share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Your monthly contribution helps provide schools and children access to kids' safaris, fostering a love for nature in the next generation. Embrace the wonders of the bush and make a difference today. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Tim, you saying hi from Australia. Wonderful to have you with us, and thanks for saying hello. Doggy dog, absolutely. It is an addictive hobby watching these beautiful animals. I know just how addictive that I decided to make it my job. So, yes, it is something that I really do never get tired of. It's unbelievable. Nature is a place in the bushveld, particularly whatever part of Africa it may be. It just never tires me from looking at it, and I know many of you watching would agree. Wild at heart, I'm not sure. There's always a possibility that we may be able to spot those goslings again. It really just depends where mom and dad have put them. I'm sure they move around all the time from one side of the waterhole to the other, but we can maybe try and scan, see if we can find them. See, it looks like an elephant's coming across throughout the thickets, so we'll have a look. Hopefully they're not too difficult to find. There are some Egyptian geese, some spoonbills, as well as a grey heron and blacksmith lapwing. Wow, the grass has gotten so long, usually we'd easily be able to see them all. So if the goslings are there with that pair, for example, it would be a bit tricky to actually see them in this long grass, I must be honest with you. But if they are out in the open, I'm sure we'll spot them. Let's head back up to Oldonyo. Ah, wonderful. There are some giraffe that have arrived here as the elephants moved off earlier. I was wondering who's going to take the gap now that the ellies have moved out the way. And here we have 3 giraffes that have come down. One definitely for a drink, standing right in the middle of the waterhole. Maybe its hoofs were a bit hot. Gordon, hello. You say that you've just come across this live feed and you love it and you watch it every day now, and you're in Manchester, England. That is so cool, and I love hearing stories about new viewers coming and discovering our channel, however that may have been, if it was sort of by mistake, or you just were channel flicking, or perhaps you heard by word of mouth from family or friends. But nevertheless, it's really cool to have you with us, and to all new viewers who are joining, whether it's for Live at the Waterhole or the live drives that we have for sunset and sunrise safaris, also right here on Wild Earth. It is great to know that there are new people joining all the time and joining the Wild Earth family and falling in love with what we do here. can actually see how many flies there are around. Wow. They are buzzing all over. And I love these close-ups that we get. And I think it looks like it's a female. It's going to come have a drink here. Yeah, absolutely, Pat. Lovely close-ups. They are so cautious, aren't they? Really giving everything a thorough examination before they decide to take this stance that they do for drinking. It's probably the most vulnerable position for a giraffe, other than being knocked off its feet. And when it sits down, generally that takes place at night when they have a bit of time of rest. But other than that, this sort of lowering down and drinking is when they are most compromised. Kate, yes, I would say so. Even when there's more than one of them, they still seem to be nervous and very cautious. It almost doesn't make a difference that there are others there. From what I've observed, there may be cases definitely where they are more relaxed, and I think they do group together for safety reasons. But when they're approaching waterholes in particular, I still see them take just as long. And sometimes one even gets a bit of a spook and jolts away, and the others continue to try and drink, or they also get a spook because the other one jumped for something, whatever it may be. So yes, still cautious and slow to decide to drink, even when there is more than one of them. Speaking of which, there's a young male, and you can see what he's doing there, how he puts his nose to her rear end, where her genitals are, getting a little bit of a sniff there, determining, ooh, is this lady of any interest to me? And there are these things called pheromones, basically, which are picked up on by these animals, and that can tell this male if she is in season, basically. Although he is a younger one, and I say that just because his ossicles almost look too big for his head. And often we see that in younger males. They haven't quite grown into their horns yet. Still a little bit fluffy on the edges as well. But that's just from observation. I mean, I cannot tell for certain how old that boy is. She doesn't seem bothered by him whatsoever. Oh, now that's interesting. Maybe he's older than what we think. So what generally happens is, if males love to do this, especially if they are interested in a female, not necessarily to mate immediately, but they start following her around and almost glue themselves to her rear end like this. They'll sort of like press up against her and eventually perhaps even mount to mate with her. It's just interesting. Unless he just picked up on the scent that she might be coming in and out of estrus, and maybe he's just acting on instinct. He's going to go sniff again. I do see that he has quite a big hump sort of in the middle of his head, or behind his ossicones as well. There's sort of a second. Oh, there he did a little bit of a. Oh, there he's doing a Fleming grimace. I think this boy is older than what I initially thought, just by his behavior now and a few other things. He's got very long ossicones, which we don't always see in older males. Sometimes they tend to be a bit beaten down, not so sort of perfect and fluffy around the bare tops, just from wear and tear and age, because they have to compete for dominance and use those ossicones to sort of fight with other males. So generally the ones that we see being dominant are a little bit more worn down, but clearly this boy is very interested in this lady, definitely of sexual maturity. Carla, hello. You are watching from Australia. You've just gotten back from South Africa, and you love that after being in the game park, you can still watch this from the other side of the world. I know, right? Isn't it fantastic that you don't have to lose your sort of connection with Africa even though you're no longer here? Can hear the flies buzzing here close to the camera, and that looks like another female that's coming towards the waterhole. She didn't take too long to have a drink.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
You can see here on this male that there are some oxpeckers sitting on his neck. Actually on her as well, there were quite a few. And it's just nice to be quiet and appreciate the view here with these giraffes. Definitely interested in something sort of beyond where the camera is located. Having a good stare there. And now you can see the little bit of sort of fur that I was referring to on those ossicones, silhouetted against those white clouds. What a view. We've got one giraffe standing underneath another one. Don't see that every day. Oh, hello there. What a nice surprise. I do love when these elephants arrive at the waterhole. Andrea, you'd like to know if there are any other animals with a similar approach to finding a mating partner, and I assume you're referring to giraffes. We were chatting about that earlier, and yes, two are never quite identical, but it is repeated throughout the animal kingdom quite prominently, especially in mammals, with, I think of kudu, giraffe, elephant, warthogs, even males having to compete for dominance, nyalas, many of the antelopes and things like that, that, a female will come into estrus, and so she gives off a chemical marker that makes a certain scent that the males pick up on, and that attracts them to her. And so, especially for giraffes and kudu, I see happening quite a bit where a female will be in estrus, and all of a sudden you get this massive grouping of males around her, and you'll find like one or two females with about 10 different males around her. And I've seen that happen in giraffes and kudu specifically. But in terms, so there's certain similarities and overlaps, even with the chemical signaling to each other that's in cats, leopards and lions, cheetahs. A female will mark her territory or spray her urine or whatever, and males will pick up on that, and they'll actually find her, or she will find them, however, but the point is the chemical indicator is used for that, and that is even across even invertebrates sometimes, to actually find each other. I think of giant land snails who are hermaphrodites, but they need to pick up on each other's sort of trail, and find each other in a very large world out here. So that sort of chemical signaling is something that's across the animal kingdom. For giraffes specifically, though, in terms of sort of gathering around a female, I see that in kudus as well, competing for dominance. That's a lot in the male mammals particularly, that you see males having to battle it out or having to figure out a hierarchy. Rhinos, elephants, hippos, territorial or not, they still can potentially have to fight it out to determine who can mate with the female. So I hope that answers your question, Andrea. Thank you for asking it. It was lovely. Well, it's been awesome to be here at Old Daniel for as long as we have been. Let's head over now to Safari Hook in Namibia. What a lovely scene. We were here yesterday with some zebra, but I see there are some waterbuck here now as well. That's actually a beautiful male waterbuck there. You can see those horns on top of his head. I didn't actually notice them in the beginning. I think his head was down and sort of very much blended in with the trees behind.
We love all creatures in the African bush, from the biggest to the smallest, including the tiny little insects and arthropods, but some of them are not as charming as we'd like them to be. So that's why I trust peaceful sleep. And it lasts up to 8 hours too, so I can stay out longer, both at day and night, and not feel like I'm somebody's snack.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
Come with us on a beautiful wildlife journey with Safari Spotlight. 4 unique South African locations, countless unforgettable moments, jam-packed with exhilarating and inspiring wildlife sightings. Bringing you intimate and exciting virtual safaris.
And then it jumped up like this and shimmied all the way up.
Enjoy jaw-dropping moments as we tell authentic conservation stories. Safari Spotlight is your ticket into the heart of the African wild. Wild Earth Travel would like to take you to Namibia and Botswana. Drift over the desert in a hot air balloon, then glide through the lush Okavango Delta in a dugout canoe. This extraordinary journey blends dramatic landscapes with outdoor adventures and unparalleled wildlife encounters. Discover Africa like never before. Book now with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Well, now that those zebras have moved off, let's head back over to Tau. Oh, hooray! There's some elephants coming, and look how many little ones there are. Goodness me. That is so cool. Looks like some warthogs and a waterback are also there, moving out of the way of these eddies. Nice to see them coming down to the water now. Clearly have splashed themselves with a little bit of mud. You can see it looks like they've got some paint splatters on them. Also some zebras arriving. Wow, this is fantastic. Yes, Jessica, I think it is. So I think may not actually be mud, but it might be sand or soil that's lighter in color. Often elephants love to spray themselves with sand or soil, and that sticks onto their bodies once they're a little bit wet. So yeah, that sort of discoloration is a different type of soil, or actually it's their natural skin color that's uncovered, and that they've made themselves darker, and that's sort of the light patches in between. So either way though, this one is very quickly covering itself up. But if I look at the smaller one on the second from the left that's drinking facing us, it also looks like it had a bit of a spray paint, and I think that was some water or lighter that had maybe some lighter mud, and that's made from a lighter stone, lighter sand texture and color that they're sprayed on them to make them look like they've had some interesting color work done. Well, aren't we so lucky, everyone? They've come to drink and now in perfect view for us. And these are such special moments where I just love to let you all at home enjoy the sounds that we're hearing and just, really feel like you're there watching these animals. And honestly, there would be nothing to say if we were sitting on the deck watching them at this moment. Just enjoy the sight for what it is.
have just had our efforts paid off.
We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Can see that little one was suckling there from that big female, and it's quite possible that all of these ones here are all of her offspring, you know, different calves from different years, and she sort of created her own herd in many aspects, if you want to look at it like that. And quite possibly the next oldest one may have a calf soon, which would be her little one. And so that's how these elephant herds form. And it's fascinating to think about and to learn more about these animals. Well, as these Ellies move off, let's head back to Safari Hook in Namibia. Ah, always nice to see a variety of species on the show, and here we have a blue wildebeest that has come for a drink. Very long mane on the back of its neck. I don't know if I've ever noticed it stand up so much. I'm sure that it's normally quite flopped over. Looks like that classic bed hair when you slept on it and then it's just sort of standing up in the morning. It is amazing how quickly they disappear and camouflage back into their surroundings. And also, you may wonder why just one. If that was a male, not uncommon at all to have a single wildebeest come for a drink. Males do tend to actually be by themselves, ones that want to establish a territory and wait for sort of herds of females and their offspring to come through their territory. There we go, it is still around. Very well spotted there behind this leadwood. And just the perfect spot to disappear. There we go. Come say hello to us. Now you can have a look at its mane, sort of underneath its chin, but also on its back, that sort of standing up fur that I was referring to. I don't think I've ever seen it so long and straight before. really is a little bit camera shy. Of all the places it could stand in this vast open area, it chooses where it is hidden behind this dead tree. Oh, there we go. You can see just on that belly is almost looks like a little bit of a belly button. So this is definitely a male wildebeest. Also, those horns come out quite wide on either side of the face, and sort of beyond the ears, which is another way to tell male from female. And I think he is the territorial bull for around this waterhole here at Safari Hook. Well, our wildebeest is deciding to be quite camera shy, so let's head up to Lentor with some baboons. Now, we had a lot of fun with this troop of baboons here yesterday at the same spot, and it's really awesome to have them back here. And again, just the variety, everything we've seen today already. It's lovely to add some baboons to the mix. We had a full-on grooming session going on. We saw a tiny little baby that was even doing some grooming of another male, which was fascinating to see. And I'm constantly learning, I mean, from all these animals, but baboons are fascinating in terms of their social structure and sort of the interaction between the baboons, and you know how upset they get with one another sometimes. Oh, there's the little one. I don't know, it's impossible to say if it's the same little one, but goodness me. Oh, that is so cute. Look how tiny it is. Now, because it's that black color and has those pink ears, it means that it's under 2 months old, under 8 weeks. Oh, it is very cute. Oh, Joanne, you say my baboons. It's so cool. It seems like they're in a routine of coming at about this time of the day. And I think it most likely is the same troop, just because they do sort of have areas that they spend time in and tend to have routines in where they go.
We love all creatures in the African bush, from the biggest to the smallest, including the tiny little insects and arthropods, but some of them are not as charming as we'd like them to be. So that's why I trust peaceful sleep. And it lasts up to 8 hours too, so I can stay out longer, both at day and night, and not feel like I'm somebody's snack.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today.
We understand that not everybody has got spare pennies to rub together at the end of the month. We're introducing an initiative called Gift an Explorer.
So that those with lots of pennies can gift a Wild Earth Explorer access to those with fewer.
We're aiming for 250 gifts, but the more the merrier.
You can nominate a recipient or keep it anonymous.
It's a great way to share the Wild Earth mission with other nature lovers around the world.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Even the way baboons chew gives this sort of human-like appearance. The way they sort of chew a bit and swallow a bit, very much like we do, almost, I don't know, tasting, deciding when to swallow, not just sort of this almost robotic way that we see other herbivores eating. And I don't know if anyone has ever seen with baboons when they sort of really have a lot to eat, and then they've got these cheek pockets inside of their mouth that they sort of fill, and sometimes it looks like they've got two huge jawbreakers on either side of their mouth. Rebecca, you want to know? Oh, there we go. Two weren't very happy with each other there. Now, I don't know exactly what it is that causes that, other than, I suppose, we all get irritated with each other sometimes. Maybe that was two males and just looking for a bit of submission, one to the other. Otherwise, it's youngsters that are messing around and one pulled the other one's tail too hard. So all of that could be reasons why we hear that sort of screeching or vocalizing from these animals. Spas, I'm not sure exactly what the baboons were chewing on, but I know here, especially under this beautiful anna tree, they have these seed pods that drop, and it's one of the things that these baboons love to open up and actually eat those seeds. Oh, is that a mom with a little one there? Oh, that's very sweet. It's probably suckling. I don't know. Maybe that's just her hand. I may be mistaken. Oh no, it is. Oh, it is just her hand. I thought that was a little head there. And so the anna tree it is such a beautiful tree. I've been fortunate enough to see quite a few of them up in the northern part of Kruger in an area called Pufuri, but they go all the way through into Zimbabwe and even here obviously in East Africa as well. And they have the most beautiful sort of seed pods that is what elephants go after, baboons as well. And when they drop, it's actually collected by local people, which is fascinating to see how they use those pods to make musical instruments or even sort of ankle bracelets from, but they shake like a beautiful instrument, the seed pods inside of these shells. And it almost looks like a flower to some degree, but made of sort of what a bean pod would look like, but they're this orangey color. And I think that may be what these baboons come here after, are these aniseed pods. Rebecca, you'd like to know what is my most and least favorite animals? Tricky to choose. But those look like some northern grey-headed sparrows that have come to drink. I would have to say that my favorite is a baby rhino, because it is just the cutest thing in the entire world, and yes, even cuter than a baby elephant. I think our emerald spotted wood doves there, how gorgeous, coming for a drink. I mean, there's so many though favorites. Oh goodness, I also love bush babies. I think that they are so cute, and I love to watch them do their thing. I think it's amazing how far they can jump. Leopards, of course, wild dogs, amazing. But least favorite, I would have to say one of the creepy crawlies that I really like. I don't mind snakes. I don't mind, spiders at a distance. I definitely don't want to be bitten. But my least favorite creepy crawly would have to be a centipede. I know that they are food for a lot of other animals and also get rid of a lot of other insects and things like that they prey on. But I just don't like the look of them. Their sort of spikiness. I had a bit of a traumatic experience with waking up with one in my bed, so that was not fun, and definitely not something I'm going to want to spend time with or see. If one is there, I'm running in the opposite direction. Here we have some beautiful firefinches though that have come down for a little bit of a water bath. They look like Jamison firefinches. I'm not sure, their beaks do look quite grey and they're very red birds, so I think these are Jamison firefinches. Sposs, you want to know if there's a chance to see a hammerkop? Absolutely. We've seen hammerkop before, and so I think there is a chance that we'll see that.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild. Join the Wild Earth Explorers program and connect with a community passionate about wildlife. Support our mission to share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Your monthly contribution helps provide schools and children access to kids' safaris, fostering a love for nature in the next generation. Embrace the wonders of the bush and make a difference today. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Wild Earth Travel would like to take you to Namibia and Botswana. Drift over the desert in a hot air balloon, then glide through the lush Okavango Delta in a dugout canoe. This extraordinary journey blends dramatic landscapes with outdoor adventures and unparalleled wildlife encounters. Discover Africa like never before. Book now with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
These birds are so sweet, coming to cool down and clean off here at the waterhole, aren't they? We seem to have quite a steady visit by these firefinches. Rebecca, you agree with me saying baby rhinos are so cute? They are. They are, and no one can convince me otherwise. I love it, and I don't get to spend enough time at all with baby rhinos, unfortunately, but I think that's also why it makes them all the more special to me. Oh, exciting. Let's head over to a butterfly at Safari Hook. Oh, pretty. Not often that we get to put one of these on camera. It looks like an African monarch. Such a beautiful butterfly. Wow, it must be super close for us to get all of these details. Just having a look if its wing is... Oh, there's another one. Almost looks like its one wing was shorter, but it's not. It's just the coloration. Also known as the African plain tiger. But I'm also just having a close look because there are so many butterflies that can look very similar to one another. Some of the joker species, like common joker, do also look similar, and I'm just thinking now the tips of these wings aren't actually as dark as I would think for an African monarch. Difficult to tell, but definitely with somewhere within that realm. Also with the African monarch, you sort of have the slanting look, and I haven't had quite, when they open their wings, if they do if the wings slope down enough. Otherwise we might be looking at something like a common joker. So wild at heart, just to go back to the birds that we were looking at Lentor, those bigger birds were northern grey-headed sparrows that were larger than the 5 inches there.
We love all creatures in the African bush, from the biggest to the smallest, including the tiny little insects and arthropods, but some of them are not as charming as we'd like them to be. So that's why I trust peaceful sleep. And it lasts up to 8 hours too, so I can stay out longer, both at day and night, and not feel like I'm somebody's snack.
Every guide in Africa has been on an endless quest for the ultimate bush wear. Until now. Rugged Wear has a huge range of amazing bush gear for every wild situation. In the midday heat, those chilly winter mornings, in the storms of summer. Rugged Wear has the bush kit for every wild occasion. Locally made in South Africa, crafted with precision, stitched with quality.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Well, I love spending a little bit of time with that butterfly, and always amazing to appreciate its beauty. Let's now head over to some elephants at Tau. Well, it's been a rather busy day around here in Madikwe. You can see some zebras there as well. I think a different herd now making their way towards the water with a much smaller baby Ellie. This particular individual is a little bit thirstier than all the others, it seems. I'm hoping that eventually they'll all come to the water, including that little one there on the right. Oh, it's very cute. I wonder if it's going to give those zebras any attitude. I think it did turn and face them, but realized I'm a lot smaller. Let me stay by mom. PB and Jam, how wonderful to hear from you again. I'm so glad that you've been able to join us for the show, and it's been wonderful to have you here with us as well. We have about 10 minutes left of the show, and I'm really happy that we can be able to spend so much time with elephants today. It's not always the case, although some days we only see elephants, so it has been nice to have such variety, from giraffes to baboons, butterflies and birds. And I think here they come finally to the water. Oh, and these little ones can be so cute around the waterhole, sometimes just having to face plant right in. Oh, they are so cute, these little ones. Sometimes I think, they definitely don't need as much water as the bigger elephants, but also some of them aren't really drinking too much water yet. They are more drinking milk, and so this is just really fun time for them to splash around and observe and learn, but really just bide their time until the adult or mom is done. This is just so cute. Oh, it's having the best time. You're right, Deb. They are quite young. Difficult to say exactly, but maybe around the 6-month mark or so. Very similarly sized. So I would say maybe somewhere around that that mark. Now the big one's also getting in on the action. I'm sure that little one must love it when it sees the older ones doing the same thing. Minji, they certainly are some of the cutest creatures in the bush, and I think for me it's this little trunk that's in front of their face, and they just like, what is this thing? And it just sometimes it goes left and right and up and down and is all over the place, and they're not quite sure what to do with it. That just makes them exceptionally cute. Oh mom, don't leave me behind. How can anyone ever tire of watching these animals? Goodness me. I mean, oh, look at it. Does everyone see my tricks? That is adorable. And sometimes we do see these little ones literally just lie down and have a rest. Mom's busy dust bathing there. And sometimes they just need to catch their breath. It's been a long day on their feet. And often we see these little ones sometimes lie down, or after this perhaps they'll move into some shade so that that little one can have a break. So many comments coming through from Joanne and Penelope, Darkmane Lover, just saying thank you for the show and how much you've all enjoyed it. Well, it's such a pleasure to bring it to you always. And we've had a really lovely one today, ending off with this cute little elephant. Oh my word. Well, what a way to end, just relaxing here, enjoying these elephants as they walk past and move off. Well, as I'm sure many of you know, we will be back again tomorrow for Live at the Waterhole. I'm looking forward to another day spent with the cameras with you all. Thank you so much for joining me and the Waterhole team here today. Thank you for all of your comments and your questions. They are always appreciated, and it's lovely to know that so many of you are enjoying the show along with us here at Wild Earth. Oh, there are the goslings. We were talking about them earlier, just in time for the end of the show. That is fantastic. There seems to be more of them today than yesterday. I don't know if that's just me. But it's lovely to see 2, 4, 6, 8 of them, it looks like. So we'll keep our eyes on them over the next few days and weeks ahead. All right, everyone, I hope you all keep well and have a pleasant day or evening ahead, depending on where you are in the world. We'll be back for the sunset safari this afternoon, so don't forget about that. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye for now.